Saint Brendan, an Irish saint who was the first European to reach North America. Now, if you listen to the video before this one, evidence of early metalworking in Arctic Canada, European technology, around 1000 AD, I wouldn't be surprised because Saint Brendan, as we know, the disciples of Saint Patrick were very, very heroic. Saint Brendan was born 484 AD and he passed away 577 AD. He was almost 100 years old, about 90 years old. And he was born in Kingdom of Munster, and he died in the Kingdom of Connacht. He's venerated in the Eastern Orthodox Church. He is an official saint of the Christian Orthodox Church. And one of the first saints, of course, of North America. Brendan of Clonfert, one of the early Irish monastic saints, one of the 12 apostles of Ireland. He's also referred to as Brendan the Navigator and the Voyager, Brendan the Anchorite, Brendan the Bold. The Irish translation of his name is Noam Brennanian or Noam Brendan. He's mainly known for his legendary voyage to find the Isle of the Blessed, which is sometimes referred to as St. Brendan's Island. The written narrative of his journey comes from the Navigato Sancti Brendani Abbatis, the voyage of St. Brendan the Abbot. His feast day is celebrated annually May 16th by Catholics, Anglicans, and Orthodox Christians. It's very little. There's very little secure information about his life, although at least the approximate dates of his birth and death account for the events of his life. He was born in 484 AD in County Kerry, province of Munster, southwest of Ireland. He was born among the Altrage, an Irish clan originally centered around Tralee Bay, to parents called Finlug and Cara. It was tradition has that he was born in Fenit area of north side of the bay, and he was baptized at Tubrid near Ardfeld by Eric the Slain. He was originally to be called Moby, but signs and portent attended his birth, and baptism led him to be christened Bron Finn, or Fair Drop. For 5 years he was both educated and given the fosterage to Saint It of Killedy, the Brigid of Munster. When he was 6, he was sent to Jarian's monastery school at Tiam to further his education, and Brendan is considered one of the 12 apostles of Ireland, one of those said to have been tutored by the great teacher St. Finian of Clonard. Legendary journeys. Brendan is primarily renowned for his legendary journey to the Isle of the Blessed, as described, Voyage of St. Brendan the Abbot of the 9th century, and many versions exist that narrate how he set out on the Atlantic Ocean with 16 monks to search for the Garden of Eden. One of these companions is said to have been Mallow. The voyage dated 512 to 530 AD, and before his travel to the island of Great Britain. On his trip, Brendan is supposed to have seen St. Brendan's Island, the blessed island covered with vegetation. He also encountered a sea monster, an adventure he shared with his contemporary Columcille, and the most commonly illustrated adventure is his landing on an island which turned out to be the great sea monster Dame Jasconius. Now, his tale of reaching North America. Belief in the existence of St. Brendan's Island was almost completely abandoned until a new theory arose that the Irish were the first Europeans to encounter Americas. There is no reliable evidence to indicate that Brendan ever reached Greenland or the Americas, and the St. Brendan Society celebrates the belief that Brendan was the first European to reach North America. Tim Severin demonstrates that it's possible for a leather-clad boat, such as the one described in the Navigations of St. Brendan. Severin's film, The Brendan Voyage, 1978, documents his team's feat, inspired the Irish composer Sean Davey to write his orchestral suite, The Brendan Voyage. And the voyage was known widely in Europe throughout the Middle Ages. Maps of Christopher Columbus's time often include an island dominated St. Brendan's Isle that was placed in the western Atlantic Ocean. Paul Chapman argues that Christopher Columbus learned from the navigation of St. Brendan that the currents and winds would favor westbound travel by a southerly route from the Canary Islands and eastbound on the return trip by a more northerly route, and hence followed this itinerary on all of his voyages. St. Brendan traveled to Wales, the island of Iona off the west coast of Scotland. Returning to Ireland, he found the monastery in Annandale, where he spent the rest of his life. He also founded a convent at Annandale for his sister Bridget, and having established his bishopric of Ardfert, Brendan proceeded to Thomond and founded a monastery there. And in the present day Killaloe, County Clare. AD 550, he then journeyed to Wales and studied under Gildas and Llancarfan, and hence to Iona. Now, I have to tell you that the first Irish saints were very strong in their belief and their miracles. There is one saint, disciple of St. Patrick, who was the abbess of a convent. She went, all those areas there, every city, every town was a kingdom. So she went to the local king and asked him for a piece of land, because of course the king has all the ownership of the lands there. It was a feudal system. And she asked him for land to establish one of her convents. And he said, no, I don't want to give you any land. He said, please, just give me a little bit, just a little bit. I don't need that much, just as long as big, some land as big as my cape. He said, okay, if you only wanted land as big as your cape, fine, I'll do it. So she asked 4 of her nuns to take her cape and stand at the corners of her cape and stretch her cape out. And she said to them, go, run. And they ran, stretching the cape out. And as they were running, the cape would stretch like it was never ending. And when the king saw this, he said, stop. They were going like for acres and acres. And he said, stop, stop, stop. At the rate you're going to take away all my land. So he says, I'll give it to you as much as your cape has already stretched. So you can imagine these were actual miracles that were taking place. And of course, these kings and their kingdoms, looking at being witnesses to all these miracles, were baptized and converted from paganism, Druidism, to Christianity. So this is St. Brendan. He is an official saint of the Christian Orthodox Church, as well as the Anglican and Catholic churches. Now, how did I come to find about St. Brendan? Well, I'm in the process of writing a book about the Christian Orthodox saints of North America, and he was one of them. I didn't even know this until I read on him. It's amazing. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.